The Untold Tales. Chapter 1. An unexpected move. I'd always envisioned my 20s as a time of freedom and excitement after graduating from college. Yet here I was, standing in front of a modest apartment building on Elm Street with a box of scattered belongings at my feet, and an eerie sense of unease settling over me. The quiet neighborhood seemed to whisper promises of serenity, its leafy streets and gentle breeze hinting at the tranquility I craved. My name is Lila, and this was supposed to be my fresh start, free from academic stress and ready to begin my professional journey. But as I stepped into apartment 14B, an odd shiver ran down my spine despite the warm May evening. The interior reflected its age with worn carpets and slightly outdated furnishings, but it had been a steal considering its proximity to campus. The rent was reasonable, and I was eager for independence after living in cramped dorms for so long. As I unpacked, the silence between boxes felt almost oppressive. My phone buzzed with congratulatory texts from friends celebrating my graduation, while I couldn't muster the enthusiasm to respond. Something about this place already seemed off. A chill crept into my bones when a sudden creaking emanated from within the walls, sounding eerily like footsteps despite no one being present. My imagination, perhaps? Weeks passed uneventfully. The rhythms of suburbia unfolded before me. A steady hum of cars driving by, and kids playing in yards during the day. Neighbors exchanging friendly banter at night. Life was predictable, and I grew accustomed to it. It wasn't until dawn one morning that my routine was disrupted. An unnatural rustling awakened me, followed by a faint whisper that could have been mere wind, or maybe just my mind playing tricks after another late study session. I pulled the curtains shut as sunlight painted the room with vibrant hues. Definitely not wind then. A shiver tickled the back of my neck. I brushed it off and prepared for classes. That day at college, a student mentioned hearing strange noises from 14B during finals week, a rumor that had been circulating in whispers since the last academic year. No one knew who lived there, which only piqued my curiosity further. By nightfall, darkness cast its shadows through my windows again. This time, it wasn't just wind. Faint murmurs filled the air, almost like a soft conversation, a hushed tone speaking in an unintelligible language. These strange occurrences began to plague me, whispers that grew louder, yet more indistinct each night. They rarely occurred during daylight hours and always seemed centered around my apartment or outside my door. I wondered if neighbors were conducting late that night gossip sessions without knowing it. Yet when I peeked through the peephole, nothing but a dark hallway greeted me. The whispers escalated. Voices blended into an unsettling chorus of murmurs that sent shivers down my spine. Lying awake past midnight, the cacophony made me drape a towel under the door and push the furniture back. A futile attempt to shield myself from what I couldn't explain or confront directly. Drenched in sweat, I waited for dawn with racing thoughts. Perhaps it was the new apartment's acoustics? The next night brought more of the same cacophony, now accompanied by a low, raspy breath that made my heart flutter, the unmistakable sign of human lungs exhaling air. It wasn't just wind or my mind playing tricks anymore. My stomach twisted into knots as I clung to my blanket, eyes fixed on the door, willing it to open and reveal an explanation. One evening, while unpacking books in the living room, a sudden gust of chill swept through the apartment, carrying an unfamiliar scent, a stale mixture of decay and old leather. Leaves crunched outside, followed by heavy footsteps thumping up the stairs that stopped right outside my door, pausing for what felt like an eternity before continuing to 15B. I listened intently as they creaked past twice more, each time lingering longer than necessary. The whispers swelled to a deafening crescendo and then fell silent once again. My hands trembled as they held the doorknob. Fingers traced patterns on the wood in contemplation, a door that had never been opened or closed since moving in. Should I? A sense of dread gripped me like icy claws when it swung open with an invisible force, revealing darkness filled with a pungent air that made my nose twitch. Chapter 2. The Silent Stairs. Chapter 2. Unraveling Mysteries. Chapter 3. The whispers grow louder. Chapter 3. Confrontation.